Hi guys, my name is Tatiana Medintsova and you are on my crochet channel. This is the final part of crocheting these wonderful bears. Let me remind you that I have Etsy shop where you can purchase a masterclass for these bears and other toys in PDF format. Also, if you just want to say thank me, you can purchase this tutorial. Now we will make a muzzle for the bear. The hook is the same, number 4. We make a loop and 6 chain stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You won't be able to insert a hook into the first stitch. We start with the second stitch from the hook. From the second stitch from the hook, along the chain of chain stitches, we make 4 single crochets. That is, we make 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and so on. Here in the first stitch, I am making the first single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 more single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 more single crochet. And in the next stitch, 1 more, the 4th single crochet. There is 1 chain stitch left until the end. In this 1 chain stitch we need to make 3 single crochets. In 1 stitch, 3 single crochets. Our crocheting turns to the other side. Now we will crochet on the other side of the chain of chain stitches. On this side we make 3 single crochets. Here in the next stitch we make 1 single crochet. In the next stitch we make the 2nd single crochet. And in the next stitch we make the 3rd single crochet. In the last stitch on this side we make 1 increase. That is, we make 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. This is how beautiful it turned out. In the next row it will be the 3rd row. In the first row we have made 6 chain stitches. In the second row we have made single crochets along both sides of the chain of chain stitches. In the third row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and do this 6 times in a circle. I recommend putting a marker. I made 1 single crochet but can't find a marker to place it on. And continue further. 1 increase is 2, 3. Again, 1 single crochet is 4 and 1 increase is 5, 6. Again, 1 single crochet is 7 and 1 increase is 8, 9. 1 single crochet, this is 10, and 1 increase is 11, 12. 1 single crochet is 13 and 1 increase is 14, 15. 1 single crochet is 16 and 1 increase is 17, 18. Be sure to turn the crochet in the right side out. In the next row we do 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and so on until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 6 times. 1, 2, and 1 increase is 3, 4. 5, 6, and 1 increase is 7, 8. 9, 10, and 1 increase is 11, 12. 13, 14, and 1 increase is 15, 16. 17, 18, and 1 increase is 19, 20. 21, 22, and 1 increase is 23, 24. The 4th row is over. In the last row we just have to make a row of single crochets. In the 5th row we make 24 single crochets. Ready? We make a slip stitch in the next stitch. We cut the thread, but leave the end long enough to sew the muzzle to the bear's head. Pull out the thread and thread it through the needle. I can't find a needle. We will need to sew the muzzle to the bear's head. First, inserting the nose. Sew the muzzle in this position in a circle. Everything is as usual. There is no need to sew the muzzle very high or very low. Everything is very simple. I'll show you on a blue bear. Add filler during the sewing process. This is what the sewn muzzle looks like from all sides. Then we will make a small tightening of the muzzle. I'll definitely show you. The muzzle is sewn on. This is how I managed to do it. Now I'll show you how to make a small tightening of the muzzle. We straight the needle and thread from the top of the muzzle to the middle of the bottom of the muzzle. Pull the thread towards the nose so that the thread is exactly in the middle. The thread should be outside and the center toward the nose. After this, we straight the needle and thread to the second tie. We tighten the thread a little, make a small tightening on the muzzle. I adjust the thread so that it's exactly in the middle. It seems okay, let's continue. After the muzzle, you can also tighten the eyes. From the second tie down, again to the middle of the muzzle. We constantly tighten the thread to create the desired shape of the muzzle. We do the same with the second tie. We straight the needle and thread from the eye to the middle of the lower part of the muzzle, then to the second tie. Plush thread is not very suitable for tightening. This plush thread is constantly fraying. That's how we pulled it in a little. Tie these two ends of the thread into a knot and tie it inside. When we make the ears, the bear will become very beautiful. So now I'll show you how to make an ear. This is what the bear's ear will look like. I have already made one ear for the bear. Hook number 4. We make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 chain stitch and reverse the crochet direction. In the second row we make 6 increases. That is, we seem to be crocheting in the other direction. Here is the first increase, the second increase, the third increase, the fourth increase, the fifth increase, and the last 6th increase. Again we make 1 chain stitch and reverse the crochet direction. In the third row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and do this 6 times until the end of the row. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the first time, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the second time, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the third time, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the fourth time, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the fifth time, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the sixth time. Now we have 18 single crochets in the row. 1 chain stitch, turn. In the fourth row we make 18 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1 chain stitch and turn. In the fifth row we make 18 single crochets. We make a slip stitch nearby. You can leave the thread for sewing the ear to the head, or you don't have leave it and sew it on later with another thread. This is how the ear turned out. The ear can be turned to either side, it doesn't matter. Now we need to sew the ears to the bear's head. I'll show you what sewn on ears look like on a blue bear. If you look from above, you can see that the ears are shifted slightly forward. Here was the middle and the ears were shifted forward. Handsome blue bear. I will not be able to fully show how the ear is sewn on, since the toy is large. Now I'll try to show you, but if it doesn't work, you'll have to finish it yourself. We place the ear to the head in the place where they will be sewn. It should be beautiful and you should like it. And sew it in this position. You can grab it here at the top first. Sew on the top edge of the ear. And I pull the thread into the lower part of the ear. You can also additionally fix it in the middle. I want the bottom center part of the ear to the further away. In general, we grab it in several places so that the ear stays in place. Here I will hide the end of the thread inside the head. I fix the ear in the middle. And now I want to hook it down to fix the lower part of the ear. This is the position in which the bear's ear will be sewn on. One ear is fixed in several places and then it will be easier to sew on. I will take the toy closer to me and also sew the ear completely. Here below I make the third fixation point. I have already liked it, it turns out very beautiful. Approximately appears. In total, I fixed the ear at 3 points, along the edges and in the center, but the ear is not completely sewn on yet. Now I will sew it completely. On the back side, I will sometimes sew the ear on stitch higher, so that the ear holds well and doesn't fall forward. On the back side, I sew one stitch higher, and not just in the outer row. We finish sewing this ear on ourselves and sew on the second one ourselves. Make sure your ears are positioned symmetrically. I show you how I managed to sew ears onto a bear. This is such a handsome guy. Now let's make a tail for the bear. Wow, the sun came out outside the window. By the way, regarding yarn consumption, this is what's left of 2 skeins of yarn. I confirmed that 2 skeins of yarn were enough for me. For the tail, we use the same hook, number 4. We make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and make 6 single crochets in the first stitch. In the second row, we make 6 increases. In each stitch there are 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. In the third row we make 12 increases. In each stitch there are 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 24 single crochets. In the fourth row we make 2 single crochets and 1 decrease, and do this 6 times. At the end of the row there will be 18 single crochets. Of course, I don't think you will count the number of stitches at the end of the row. Therefore, we simply do the combination 2 single crochets and 1 decrease 6 times. 1, 2 and 1 decrease. By the way, here you can completely insert the hook into the stitch and make a decrease. Again, 1, 2 and 1 decrease. This is the second time. 1, 2 and 1 decrease. This is the third time. The sun is shining brightly outside the window. This is the fourth time. 1, 2 and 1 decrease is the fifth time. 1, 2 and 1 decrease is the sixth time. Turn the crochet in right side out. In the fifth row we make 1 single crochet and 1 decrease, and do this 6 times. So I have made 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. This is the first time. 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is the second time. 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is the third time. 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is the fourth time. 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is the fifth time. 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is the sixth time. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Leave the end of the thread long enough to sew on the tail. That's how much thread is left. We cut the thread, pull it out and tighten the thread. Immediately add a little filler to the tail. Just a little bit of filler. That's it. We insert the thread into the needle and sew the tail to the bear. The tail is sewn at the level of the legs. You can look from the side and gradually move the tail to choose the best place to sew it on. Somewhere in this position I will sew the tail. You can see that the top of the tail is level with the top of the bear's legs. We sew the tail in a circle. We crochet into the tail, into the body, and so on in a circle. My bear is ready. It turned out incredibly beautiful. I have already sewn the tail to the bear too. Due to the fact that the legs are made on joints, the bear sits well. Now I'll show you how to make a scarf for a bear. You can use any yarn for the scarf. I use Alize Softy Plus yarn. My scarf will be white. Hook number 5. Make a loop and 5 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in the opposite direction we will make half double crochets. We start crocheting from the second stitch from the hook. It won't work in the first stitch. Insert the hook into the second stitch and pull out the thread. There are now 3 loops on the hook. We make these 3 loops on the hook at a time. This is called a half double crochet. Yarn over again, go into the loop, pull out the thread and crochet it in one go. This is the second half double crochet. Now we are making the third half double crochet and the fourth half double crochet. 1 chain stitch and turn. In the opposite direction we make 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make 1 chain stitch again and turn. In the opposite direction we make 4 half double crochets. In this way we will crochet a scarf. At the end of the row we always make 1 chain stitch, a turn and again 4 half double crochets. We crochet a scarf until the length of the scarf is sufficient. We continue on our own. It's simple. I ended up crocheting a pin scarf using fluffy yarn. It seemed to me that a scarf made from this yarn would be even more beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, I look forward to your feedback and I wish you all the best.